right. Happy Thursday, everyone. It's always so weird to see or to know when I'm live, but I think I'm live. So happy Thursday or happy Junior Friday. I see some people signing on already. Thank you so much. Yeah, I'm super excited about my guest tonight. I am super excited about the fact that I am back at work. Everyone knows not everyone, maybe everyone knows my real job is as an educator. There he is. Oh my gosh. This is the same thing has been happening before. It takes a minute. Okay, there we go. I always love it when my dog cranks up. Hi there.
Good evening. How you doing?
I am great. How are you?
I'm doing good. How about yourself?
I am great. I cannot complain. I'm super excited to see you, to meet you. Unlike many of my guests, I know extremely well, but you're like a new friend, so I'm excited.
Yes, ma'am. I'm excited too.
All right, well, we will just jump right on in. I always start off by saying to everyone who is watching, I give them the background of Townhouse Talks because typically people who watch me every week, they kind of know what it is. But my guests following, they're like, what is my friend doing? What is my favorite, designer doing? So I explain what the whole concept is. It was born during the pandemic or out of the pandemic when everybody was stuck at home and we were learning Zoom and IG and all these other platforms. So that was one catalyst for it. And then following the the horrible death of George Floyd, and I was trying to figure out what would be my protest, how would I find my voice or my lane to illuminate what is great and also cast aside what is not so great and evil in this world. So I decided to use this platform to highlight change makers within their industry or within their lanes, right? And so that's how you got here. I think I saw some of your wares on a site or something, some kind of way it came to my awareness. And I was like, this guy's great. I gotta get him on a Townhouse Talk. And you said yes. So here we are.
Yes, ma'am. I'm super excited to be here. It's been a minute since I've done an IG live, so it's like cool. Let's get back into the swing of things.
Right. Well, everybody's kind of outside. And then now there have been some things happening that's pushing some people back inside. So hopefully people are watching tonight. Most of the time people watch later. So hopefully we will have a treat in store for them when they watch later.
Absolutely.
Yes. So welcome. Is it Cedric or Cedric? How do some people pronounce their names differently.
I mean, people say Cedric, and I say Cedric is a nice designer name, so Cedric Brown Collections. But if you want to say Cedric, that's fine too.
Okay, all right. Cedric Brown, welcome to Townhouse Talks. So I asked everybody the same 5 or so questions, was because everybody's experience and the story is so different. So I know that it will take a different turn for each person that I am honored to have this talk with. So let's just jump right in. You ready?
Yes.
Cool. Okay, so tell us a little bit about your background. Where did you grow up? Tell us a little bit about what made you who you are as an adult. So go back into the kid in you. Were you like designing stuff? You were like, I don't want to wear this, Mom. I'm going to tear it up and I'm going to do it this way.
Absolutely. I was looking at that question and I was going to say, some people would say I was quiet. Some people would say he can draw. And some people would say, oh, he can dress. And some people have different perspective of me as a kid. But I will say that I grew up as an only child in a single parent household. And when I have discussions about being only child, I was like my cousins were just like my siblings almost. So I grew up in that type of environment, and I was the kid also in school that scribbled on everything. Like, when you have papers, you always want to doodle on stuff or whatever. And when I grew up in church, I always would bring a coloring book to church with my crayons, and I would just be coloring away like the pages with bright colors. And so some people remember that from me as well. And I have these. My mom would put my clothes in a dry cleaner. These start shirts, button down shirts, and however, just being nicely dressed for church. Um, and just me, I loved always like designers and stuff. Like in fifth grade, when I discovered what a fashion designer was, I was like, I want to be like Sean John,
Mm-hmm.
Fat Farm, Russell Simmons, and also Ralph Lauren. So I always had a desire of like, I want the latest of everything. I want the dress. And I also would like to give advice to other people who, like even like my mom before she would go out, tell her different things I think she should wear or she look good in.
I love it. I love it. So what I know about only children is sometimes, in those moments alone when they're around adults or just alone in general, imagination takes over, right? Creativity. You make your own fun. You make your own experiences. And so that's interesting. And then also you talked about church and appropriate dress. You thought about circumstances and situations and how you should look or act or dress for those. So it seems like a perfect storm, an only child that was aware of how to be appropriate in certain settings.
You know what? I never even thought of that only child. You just gave me a description that, because everybody have a description about only children. I'd be like, what do you mean? Because I don't really know.
Right.
But you're right about the imagination. Like, yeah, you have to sometimes, like, if you by yourself, making your own friends in the house, or you just doing whatever to keep yourself entertained. So I never thought about it like that, but it is true.
Yeah, yeah. I tell people all the time this is a wonderful hobby because I just love learning about other people. But my background is in like in education and then human behavior. And you study things and they tell you all the time, oh, somebody's upbringing definitely impacts who they are as an adult. So when you meet people, you're like, adults specifically, you're like, what made you like this? And sometimes in this situation in particular, it's a positive thing, but sometimes you meet people like, what happened to you that made you like this? But no, I can see how opportunities, circumstance, and just that a creative brain could get you in a space where you wanted to create and create appropriate dress for people that were around you. That's
Yes, ma'am.
that's exciting. So, how would you say your upbringing has impacted you as an adult?
Yes, I would say also like my upbringing. I grew up with like my mom sold clothes also when I was a kid, and like I have family members. They were probably street hustlers or just always been around like entrepreneurs and
Mm,
since I feel like my family upbringing is more entrepreneur than I seen people working 9 to 5s. You know how most people it's the opposite. So
right.
even when I got a job, well, I never really had like a full-time permanent job, but I was an intern. I worked in corporate jobs, and it's just like I didn't really know corporate behavior, like how you supposed to act, what you're supposed to do, what you're supposed to say in the interview, because I'm not used to that, and I'm not used to even growing up seeing that either. So I will say that impacted me that way, but also by me having my own business, it impacted me also that like I like to be on top of my hustle. I'm researching. I have people in my background that's guiding me to tell me to do this, that, and how to sell, what to think about your territory, um,
Wow.
making sure you stand on top of things, your finances, your profit and loss, all those type of things, whatever. You have an entrepreneur mindset. You think about your competition, all that. So
So were these friends? were these like mentors or?
I would say mentors and family members. I have a few friends who are entrepreneurs, but I have like a wide variety of friends. But I do try to surround my circle, people who know my intimate details about my business and stuff. Like I like to be around like-minded people or people, that I can that I'm where I'm trying to go to. They don't necessarily have to be a designer. They could be, you know, they could be a CEO of something. They could be a public speaker. They can write books, whatever. But if they know how to get to the money and how to tell me how to get to the money, I'm going to listen.
I love that. Like-minded people or people who understand where you want to go, that are not pushing you into a more safer existence. No, I get that. That's amazing. So tell everyone what you do. And I have to admit that typically I do my research. I'm an educator, so I'm back at work, so I've been super busy. But when I posted that you were my guest, between the comments and the DMs and the text messages, everybody knows you. Everybody's like, oh my God, how did you get him? Oh my gosh, this is gonna be great. His wares are amazing. I just bought a scarf. I just got this kimono. Oh, everybody's so excited. So tell people who don't know, that might be very few. I might be the only one back in the day when I didn't know. What do you do? And I love the fact that it says Cedric Brown Collections with an S. Not just collections. I saw housewares and pillows. I saw everything. So tell us a little bit about what you do and what your collections are all about.
Yeah, so C.J. Brown Collections, I've been in business now for 7 years. And what makes my product unique is that I do all the artwork that's on the fabric. You can see like some artwork back here. I have on my pocket square here as well. And I started off with making scarves, and then as my business expanded, I've been adding stuff ever since. Pocket squares, neckties, kimonos. I just added slip dresses, palazzo pants, button-down shirts for men. And my works has been seen on CNN, Hello Beautiful, Black Enterprise, Town and Country, Women's Wear Daily wrote me up before as well. And what I've been known for, what got me a lot of big recognition was, if you ever watched the show Greenleaf, Lady
I was about
May,
to say Greenleaf.
yeah, she wore my kimonos on Greenleaf. And I got like a lot of big publications from that or whatever. And Miss Lynn Whitfield, um, she also gave me a big shout out on national TV on Girlfriend Check-In, where she gave my pieces to Tina Knowles, Beverly Johnson, and Vanessa Bell Calloway. And I saw those comments as well from people that followed you, and I was just excited because you just never know who knows who and who's watching you as well. And for this past July, I could say I was rolling this summer, this year in general. You didn't know how this year was going to turn out because we just kind of like getting off lockdown. But
COVID.
I've been growing my brand and expanding to different regions. I've been doing shows like in Orlando, Philadelphia, Baltimore, Denver, LA, and I've just been meeting all kind of people, whatever. And one in particular, some of the people I seen were AKAs, and I did their boule, and it was like everybody in the convention center almost had on my pieces, and that was wonderful to see. So
I love it. Yeah, shout out to the sorors of AKA. Yeah, people started DMing me and they were like, Nikki, I have this piece and I have sending me screenshots and pictures.
oh wow.
I love it. I love it. But like you said, the world is very small when you talk about obviously creatives, and I'm not a creative, but people who appreciate creatives and creatives. And so there are a lot of former on house talkers that were like, oh my gosh, I'm so glad you have him there. He's amazing. So yeah, the world is really small when you're doing good stuff and you're trying to be true to your craft, whatever that is. So kudos to you. Yeah, I'm very familiar with Greenleaf. And as soon as all those kudos started coming in, I was but then like go online and I was like, oh my gosh, I remember when she wore this. I remember when I saw this. I remember. So kudos to you. So let's switch subjects a little bit, our topics, and tell me what brings you joy. Obviously, you're bringing a lot of people joy in your wares, and you're in. So let's back up a little bit to the art pieces. Are those your art pieces? Do they influence you, or?
Oh yes, those are my art pieces. I do all the art, the textiles that's on all the fabric and stuff. That's me. What brings me joy in my business, I would say definitely seeing people. Thank you so much, Jay, and Marcus as well. I would say like what brings me joy is absolutely seeing people wear my pieces in my business. Like, them coming by my booth or just showing me some pictures and the way they styled it. Sometimes it's just unbelievable. I would be like, wow, I didn't even think of wearing it like that. And I'm not even. I just got to bring up Big Bro Lamar Rucker. He wore one of my shirts during Essence Festival this year, and when I seen the pictures, he asked me was I gonna be at Essence. I wasn't, and I saw him with it styled on, it, and I was just like, wow, like he wore it better than me. Like, I'm a designer and I like dressing, but I didn't even think to put on those slacks that he wore, or those shoes, or that color
Right.
even match with the shirt or whatever. So different things like that, just seeing people wear my stuff, that definitely brings me joy in the business, and seeing it grow, seeing the sales grow, um, seeing the way people respond to it, that they love it and they feel comfortable around me or whatever. Those things all those things bring me joy. So
Yeah. No, and I kind of teed that up, hoping you were going to say that these were your designs as well. The artwork was yours as well, because I have interviewed artists and I have interviewed designers, but very rarely do they encompass the two, the two, right? So I thought that was pretty cool if that were the case, that you have these visual prints, and then you also have this clothing line, and you're able to incorporate both. So that's pretty amazing. And ironically that you mentioned Lamont, because I know him in another life in the education space. Um, but I definitely have seen, where I've researched and seen where he's worn your wares and all that good stuff. So it just speaks volumes to who you are and how people want to support you. So again, kudos to you. And I'm glad it brings you joy, because it brings so many people joy. I'm learning, right? Because
thank you.
they're letting me know. So what keeps you up at night? Is there something that you think about or that worries you from time to time that keeps you up at night?
When I saw that question, I would say honestly, nothing really does. I can fall asleep instantly. Like sometimes I feel like, I am a full-time entrepreneur and like I just about do everything, even though some things I outsource, but I be tired. Like if I can't even sometimes watch a full movie without me like just wanting to fall asleep or just be relaxed. Now I will say certain things do stress me out and have me thinking about things a little bit more than others, like just personal drama or um last minute projects, somebody asking you to do something last minute, so then all of a sudden you under pressure, and it's like that will stress me out because like I don't even want to do this now. It kind of like ruins the fun of creating art. It's like a job that I got to meet somebody deadline, so that right there would stress me out.
Right.
That would stress me. That would makes me but it still wouldn't keep me up at night. Those days were when I went to SCAD. I went to Savannah College of Art and Design, and they're literally the name they call it. Sleep comes after death, because you would be up at that school when I was a senior. I mean, 24 hours. I probably have to sleep in my car for 2 or 3 hours and go back to. And then when I graduated, I said I never want to be like that again. I don't care. I'm an artist or whatever. I control me and what I want to get done and stuff. And I make sure that I'm not in that type of stress where I'm not getting no sleep, because that's not healthy.
Yeah. No, I love that. Good for you, 'cause it's a lot of entrepreneurs, you know, and they have, most people that I interview, I feel like they are walking in their purpose, and they're walking in their purpose so much that they really don't worry, because they're like, I know I'm meant to do this, I'm going to stay the course. So that speaks to the personality type or the character trait of people who are, you know, walking in their truth. But for the few that do mention an issue, it would be the entrepreneurial aspect, you know, that is not guaranteed. It's not, you know, a given on the 15th and the 1st of the month. So kudos to you. I mean, that's exciting that you don't let those things bother you. You've just always followed your intuition, your gut, your privilege, your passion. And I love this, you know, SCAD being an acronym.
So you never heard that
Sleep
before?
comes after death.
You never heard that before?
I've never heard that before.
Yeah, SCAD has a reputation of that. Definitely when you get to the school, because it's very intense. It's only like 10 weeks, like your classes are, and you may have 3 classes at the same time that require like 20 hours of work or 30 hours of work, and the project is due like the next week, or like you have 10 days to complete it. So it's just like always stressful, and then it's competitive. Everybody think they're the best artists in the world there, so you just a whole bunch of different energies up in there.
No, I love it. And like I said, I mean, I just appreciate your visual artistry and then all your designer on the clothing side. That's a gift. Both are gifts individually, but putting them together, that's definitely something to be proud of. So I always, in my interviews with the same question, I ask, if someone asked you how to make this world a better place, or what should they do to be the change that they wish to see in the world, what would your advice be, as someone who is changing the world with their wares?
Well, I don't know if my answer will be, right, but right now, how I feel about everything is just to focus on improving yourself, being the best person that you can be, and let your light shine. When you do that, you're gonna inspire a lot of people. People are gonna look up to you. Once you inspire them, uplift bring other people aboard, and shine your light even brighter, and how you can help change your community, and you know, you know, if people look up to you and stuff and they're inspired by you, that right there is just alone a lot to make changes.
Yeah,
That's my opinion, but I don't know. Everybody have different
yeah,
opinions and stuff. So
yeah. Well, and so that's the point of, townhouse talks, right? Everybody obviously has their perspective and they have their thoughts. But I love to just talk to people who are changing their industry, are changing the way people feel about their industry, and to just see what makes them tick, right? And so I think for you to share that, to you, changing the world just means finding your voice, finding what you like to do, and just drilling down on that is important. So thank you for sharing. And you just never know who you're inspiring.
well, the thing is also because it's a lot going on in the world. You can't control what people doing, what they don't, even in your family or friends. People make decisions, and sometimes it just go over beyond you. I can't control what nobody else do. So right now, what I've been these last couple of months is just focusing on peace. On not looking into the left, not looking to the right. Trusting God, and that's all you can do. That's what you got to do first, and then if you can help, yes. If you can't, don't beat yourself up about stuff. So
Yeah. Yeah, because helping other people can't be indirectly too. It might not be. You don't have to beat yourself up like, how can I do this one thing? But I know that you have inspired other people because, like I said, they've reached out. But I also feel that hearing your story, your background, how you developed your craft or honed in on your craft, it will inspire others as much as it has inspired me. Um, so thank you for taking the time out and sharing your journey. And this is only the beginning. It's very clear that it's only the beginning. Don't forget the little people on your way up and up and up. And just kudos to your success and being the humble person that you are.
Well, thank you so much for thinking enough of me to invite me on your show and to interview me. It was a nice time and nice interview as well.
Yes, thank you so much. And I will be in touch. I find myself at lots of galas and events and things. So I will be on your website buying stuff. So keep an eye out for me.
I appreciate that.
No problem. Take care, Cedric, and continue to be the change. And everybody that's out there watching, do the same. And I'll see you all next week. Take care,
I,
Cedric.
I have a good one.
All right, you too. Bye bye.
All right.